Alright.
price.
Alright, what do we got? You got replays or anything, or what do you want to do?
I have no idea.
Well, what do you think you need work on?
I actually don't really know what I need work on.
What?
I'm not very prepared.
Are you serious? What,
Yeah.
Oh, you're killing me. Hold on, let me think.
I'm pretty bad at early pressure from Protoss.
Hey, stream people, do any of you guys play this game? You're bad at early pressure from Protoss.
Yeah, early pressure. Yeah.
Like how? Like explain this to me.
Like 2-gate zealot pushes. And bad killing.
Do you see those very much anymore?
Not really, but when I do see them, I'm basically dead.
Alright, well I fucking suck with Protoss, but we'll try this. Hold on, what? I'm gonna make,
Alright.
Holy fucking, you got a bonus pool.
Yeah, I do. I need to ladder more.
Alright, ready?
Yep.
Do you have it set to push to talk? Are you able to talk and play at the same time?
I can. I can talk and play.
I don't know if I should be giving a lesson as I'm playing Protoss. This might be a disaster, but I guess we'll find out. If he's not really that good, I think he was a gold player, so hypothetically I should be able to beat him with any race, right? Especially because he's playing Zerg and I understand his race. I just have to do to him what beats me, right? Have you played enough games versus Protoss to kind of understand when you see the buildings going up what strategy they're doing?
I'm pretty sure. General idea.
Fuck, I don't even know how to 4-gate. Alright, but I do understand some things about this race. When do you normally scout?
I usually send my overlord out, and I'm bad at sending drones out.
You should always send your 9th or 10th drone out.
Alright.
When do you use your first chrono boost? Whoa, what's gateway? There it is. Am I doing a good wall here, guys? That's a good wall, right? I'm gonna use that chrono boost. That's good, right? Alright, when you scout Protoss and you see a like ship built down at the bottom of the ramp instead of inside their base, that should set off some red flags immediately.
Fast expand.
It's one possibility. I wish I knew how to play Protoss. If you see the chrono boost on a gateway, what does that mean?
Early zealots.
Since I'm opening with the 2-gate pressure, I should expand, huh? Does that make sense? That makes sense? Do any of you guys play Protoss? Because I could do this a lot better if I had other people playing. I can't play this fucking race. Basically, all I can teach is ZVZ. If I'm actually the one playing. Oh my god. Okay, one of you guys has to be able to play Protoss. Gas, Cybercore, yeah, I'll do that. Do I just like chrono boost random shit? It's gonna chrono boost all my shit. Holy shit, what are all these upgrades? Research warp gates. Definitely need that, right? Chrono workers only? What? Oh wait, I need to chrono this, don't I? Yeah. Ah, sentries. This is a bad idea. I'm sorry, this is a really bad idea. Oh shit. I need somebody who can play, Protoss. One of you faggots has to be able to play this race. Force field. Oh, yes. I need more pylons. Holy shit. You can warp in? Oh, yeah. Transform to warp gate. Why isn't that upgrade done yet? Oh shit, I canceled probes. Don't do that. This is horrible. The fuck? I don't have any force field yet. What the fuck is that shit? Oh fuck! Guardian shield, don't hit the G key. Okay, don't do that anymore. Warp gates. Incoming. Oh my god, oh, I don't even need to fucking... I don't even need to hotkey my gateways? Oh, holy shit, are you fucking serious? What kind of gangster-ass bullshit is that? Oh, Robo-Bay! I need the Colossus. The Colossuses. So I just put my army on two. I keep making them motherfucking probes. More sentries. This game needs more sentries. Oh, that needs to be a warp gate. So does that. There we go. I think I fucked those force fields up. Damn, I'm good. Holy shit, your units warping so fast after you build them. It's fucking insane, man. Why would you ever transform back into a gateway? Oh, I need more of this shit. Hells yes. Need more chrono boost. Need more sentries. More pylons. Damn, almost fucking... I could max this shit out in less than 5 minutes. I should scout more, huh? I think I'm ripping this dude off. Water attack by what? Zealots. What are my zealot upgrades at? Oh, Colossus. What do I get zealot upgrades? I want that charge shit. Twilight Council, does that sound right? Make observer, are you fucking crazy? I'm Protoss, I don't need to observe shit. Making pylons like a baller. What? Mechanical keyboards are fucking awesome. Yeah, I know, bitch, and this is really pointless. I just want to use force field. No, it doesn't. Alright, I'm sorry. I'm really fucking terrible with Protoss. But despite how terrible I am, I think I can actually even go into that replay and we can learn a couple things. Are you, do you have my stream on right now?
I can turn it on.
I would say turn on the stream and turn down the volume and then listen to me and I'll kind of talk you through the replay.
Alright.
You have any meaner yet?
Alright, it's on.
Alright. Kind of messed up a little there. It looked like you were saving larva for lings, but then you made 3 drones.
Yeah.
Okay, well here, actually, I don't even need to write these down. I'll just go through this game. Okay, so first of all, you I hate using myself as a game. I can't play Protoss at all. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But you scouted a 2-gate, right? So the general idea is you see that the Protoss is 2-gated, right? Oh shit. Sorry. Okay, you scouted a 2-gate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're expecting some kind of early pressure, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are one of 2 ways the Protoss can go. Well, one of 3 ways the Protoss can go from this point. From an early 2-gate, the Protoss is either going to pressure you until he's going to try and early pressure you so that he can set up a safe expansion. That's one possibility. Second possibility is that he's going to 2-gate into a 4-gate and he's just going to keep producing units until he can roll you. It's the second possibility. And the third possibility is that he's going to maybe just try and 2-gate you all the fucking way out. Like, if you watch outside your base and you see he's got like 12 zealots, that's really rare, but it's happening before. If you're not scouting, you're not ready for it, you're gonna get fucked in the ass by it. And it's just stupid. He'll just keep massing zealots and maybe do like some kind of cheesy tech rush or something at the same time. But the most common are the first 2 that I told you. He's either going to 2-gate into a 4-gate or he's just 2-gating to secure a safe expansion. Most of the time it's to secure a safe expansion, unless I'm mistaken. It's really, really rare that you'll even see this 2-gate build after the increased build time for zealots, but just saying. Another thing that you've got going on here is when you build your buildings, especially if you see an early pressure build, try to make everything as compact as possible so that your defensive structures can defend as much as possible. Like, you've got an okay setup here. I would bring that pool in maybe a little bit more to the left or maybe right next to the hatchery or something. But right now you can defend everything with one spine crawler. If you set a spine crawler up like right beneath your hatchery, it can extend to cover almost everything you've got here, right?
Alright.
But instead you built your spine crawler to the upper left, which I thought was kind of weird. Though I see later that's because you're going to build 2 spine crawlers. But really, all you need in this situation is 1 spine crawler. 1 spine crawler plus your queen and maybe 2 zerglings can hold off 2 to 4 zealots pretty easily. Unless you see him like commit and start to like mass up a fuck ton of zealots. Alright, sorry, is there a lot of static, or does it sound okay?
It's alright. I can hear you.
Alright. Alright, so like, from this point here, like, there's a couple problems with the way that you've set this game up. Like, you've already set yourself up to be kind of fucked if this guy's a competent player. So we know, if we're assuming that our opponent is somewhat decent, he's got two ways that he can go from here. He can either expand, he can do a fast expo build after pressuring you with these zealots, or he's going to do a 4-gate into an all-in push. Regardless of which option he chooses, you've kind of fucked yourself here a little bit. If he does the expansion build, then you've got a couple options. If he decides to expand, then you can either one base play and try and push him before he really gets his army moving, which is impossible now because you've wasted money on 2 spine crawlers. Do you understand why that's kind of why it hurts you if you're going to do a one base all-in push?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, because you spend money on spine crawlers that you obviously can't put into an army. And the spine crawlers were drones, it hurts your economy. So you can't really do a push. And your other option is to just try and out-macro him. Since you've opened with a speedling build, if you try to set him in expansion, you're going to be playing behind the whole game, which is really frustrating. Since he expanded early, your expo is going to go up later, and you're going to be behind in worker count all game. So do you see how like setting up 2 spine crawlers here really kind of hurts you in terms of that?
Yeah.
Another thing that would kind of help if you're playing, especially if you see an early 2-gate. If you see an early 2-gate, your overlords can actually patrol his base. If you see an early 2-gate, especially if he expands, his gas is going to be really late and his tech is going to be really late. So you can really easily, get a lot of information by setting overlords over his base. And what you scout from him can really change how you play. Like, say you send this overlord in, and in his main base you see a cybercore and another gateway going up. He's going to try and destroy you without even expanding. But say you also send the so obviously from there you're going to be making a lot of units. You're going to be, you're going to set yourself up to survive his push basically. But if you send this overlord in and you see a forge that's up and like 3 cannons in progress, like you're going to want to play super eco. You're going to want to expand once, maybe a second time if you can afford it. You're going to want to super saturate without even worrying about making units because you know that he's going to be defending up really heavily,
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I guess you could say it's kind of like dancing. Like, based on what he does kind of determines what your next move is. You can't really be out of sync with him too much, otherwise you're just going to get raped. This little link, the little link stuff you had going on here was okay. You could have used these links, though, to kind of get into his base and scout, maybe, to see if he was trying to rush any kind of attack or to see what was going on there, instead of just attacking that pylon and just leaving.
Alright.
So see, like here, it looks like you're kind of trying to do both things at once. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this is how some people play ZVP and it works. But like, basically, he's expanded, so his economy is going to be booming. And now you're trying to expand to catch up in economy, and at the same time, you're kind of doing the whole tech thing. But then... So it's kind of like, so basically you're going to be behind in eco and you're going to kind of be teching and kind of getting an army, but it seems like you're just going to be playing behind from the entire game. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, stream people, any of you play Protoss somewhat decently? Anybody? Anybody? That attack right there was kind of bad. You kind of lost a lot. Didn't really accomplish much. DNA. Who's the highest rated? Who's the highest rated Protoss? Everybody type your ratings. So I guess at this point, your general approach to ZVT is or ZVP is mutiling.
Yeah.
I don't. Some people say that mutiling works, but I don't think mutas are that great against Protoss. Some people might contradict me there, but I personally just don't think they're that great.
What would you suggest otherwise?
I'm trying to think. I mean, it depends a lot on the way the game is going. Generally, I like to open with speedlings, and then from speedlings I'll maybe muta. Oh man, I'm trying to think. The way that mutaling is supposed to work, the way that I understand it, and the way that makes the most sense to me is, ideally what you do is you're going to harass the Protoss early a lot with speedlings, early on in the game. When you go heavy speedlings, it really forces him to really get a lot of zealots, to be really, really, really zealot heavy in his composition. His zealot heavy composition will die to mutalisks, because he won't have that many stalkers, because he shouldn't be making that many stalkers if he's playing versus mass speedling. But if you don't pressure the Protoss a lot with those early lings and his army composition is fairly even, like if he's got a decent number of stalkers and sentries and zealots, your mutas are never going to be able to take his army out. Does that kind of make sense? Who, right? Does that make sense? What? Did he die? Hello? Hello?
Yeah. Sorry, it was like...
Oh, okay. So the idea of Ling Muta is you use the Lings to force him into a zealot-heavy composition, and then you move out, and then your Muta should be able to deal with that army fairly well, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Severin, what race did you say you played? Alright, hold on. I'm going to find you a real Protoss to play against, and then I can kind of talk you through the game as you're playing.
Alright.
Brahans, holy shit. I'm sorry, Severin, I love you, but... Oh my god, I don't even know... Severin. One of you assholes has to be able to play Protoss. How many people are watching this shit? Why wouldn't a whole bunch of Protosses be watching my Zerg stream? Come on. 43. 43 people and no Protoss.
She can do anything you want her to. You know it's true. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why? Yeah.
Can you leave me
Why?
for 40 minutes so I can...
Why her?
Because he's only for 1 good light. Maybe this guy can play on there.
She can do it. Stop. Save it.
Alright, Patrick, are you ready? You watching?
I am ready.
Alright, I'm gonna plan first and I'll talk you through it, and then after that you'll plan and we'll go from there, okay?
His race is Terran right now.
I think he's gonna change to Protoss.
Alright.
Yeah. Steven. Huh? Why not? Steven. Steven.
Alright, what? Can you hear me?
See?
What?
He's supposed to do whatever I say. Why won't you?
Alright, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can.
I get a clear... Shit, sorry. Sorry. What, my recordings are clear because of the... I use flash media encoder and I output to 720p definition. Okay. This is... Normally my normal Protoss build, I'm gonna do a 13 pool, 15 hatch. I like to do that because it lets me open up with lots of lings. I use the VH screen crap. Always scout with your 9th drone, like when you start to make your overload or something. Or even you can wait till you, I mean, scout, you want to scout fairly early. It's especially important when you're playing versus Terran or Zerg to scout very early. You want to scout early versus Terran because you don't want him to wall off, and you want to scout early versus Zerg because you want to see for a cheese. Make sense? Hello, hello? Mr. Patrick? Patrick, are you live, sir? Oh, what? Am I getting static? Hello, Patrick? I think this dude died. Pretty sure my event's working. Patrick. Does this guy mean to wall himself in? Me personally, I wouldn't go Muna, no, probably not. I never go Muna, but I'm going to for the sake of this, I guess. Although, it seems like Patrick died. Oh my god, he's got an arch on? Is that normal? Patrick. Hold on 1 second. Can you hear me, dude?
I can't hear you.
Not lagging anymore?
Not lagging anymore.
Alright.
I have no idea what caused that.
Alright, I'm gonna have the camera set so I'm only watching you. I won't be able to see anything that he's doing, okay?
Alright.
You normally hotkey your hatcheries?
Yeah, 4.
Cool, cool. Should probably rally your hatchery to your... Yeah. I like to rally when I'm playing versus Protoss. I like to rally my first Overlord at their base, since they don't always rush Dragoons. And then from there, basically what I do is I have it so that my first Overlord is sitting behind their natural minerals, and my second Overlord is sitting behind where their third would go, those minerals, so that you can use them later in the game to see when your opponent is expanding. Did I say Dragoon? I'm sorry, did I say Dragoon? I meant Stalkers.
Yeah, you did say Dragoon.
Always says that? Do I really always say that? I don't think I've ever done that before. Here's a quick tip for you. You're gonna warp in an overload with your, or morph an overload with your next larva. Take one of your drones, build an extractor, and then cancel it. Or you could keep the extractor. If you can't, basically what happens since you made that extractor is your queen started now. So if you canceled it, you'd be at 19 out of 18. If you ever mess up and you need to get that queen in there, you can always do an extractor trick or something like that to trigger it. You do have 2 queens coming right now, though. I don't know if that's intentional or not. You do see that he's got 2 chrono boosted gateways and a cyber core, so that overlord might be in danger. It's good that you're keeping that scouting drone alive. in the absence of having your overlord at their front gate, it's always good to keep like one Ling in front. Just so that way you get the news that he's moving out. You don't have to wait till his army is at the front of your base. You can actually see him moving out. All you need is, like right now, oh fuck, that's not good. You really want to be macroing those hatcheries. You get some Lings coming or something.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend spending too much time up that ramp just because you saw him force field it once. If he does it again, I mean, you don't want to just lose your expo with an army sitting up your ramp behind a force field. You did a good job keeping that scouting drone alive for a fucking long time. But so do you kind of see what I mean there? If you would have had one Ling sitting in front of his base, you wouldn't have lost anything there. You would have seen him move out with that relatively small army, and then you could have had some Lings produced and ready to go, you know?
Yeah, I got you.
And then once again, you could have a Ling in front of his base. One thing I like to do with this build is throw it on an Evo chamber, probably before you even start your lair, so that you can get a +1 to your melee attack upgrade. A nice thing, when you see him moving out, try to meet him halfway or even in front of his base, so that you can force him to waste force fields out there and then pull back, and then as he comes to your base, hopefully he's out of force fields by the time he's ready to fight you or whatever. Another micro thing to keep in mind, when you see him running away, especially when he's going up at ramp, take all of your Zerglings and just right click up that ramp so that you can run as far as you can before he tries to force field you out. Something to keep in mind. I think it would help you a lot too to have those queens hotkeyed. You can either hotkey all of them on 5 and use the minimap to inject, or hotkey 1 to 5 and 1 to 6. Only get +1 armor if you see him going forge with the attack upgrade. Otherwise there's no reason, no point. Could also use one Ling in front of his base again. Yeah, there it goes. It's really important to make him waste his force field before he gets to the front of your base. If he's got full force field on all of his shit, and then he's at the front of your base, you're in trouble. Like what you just saw right now, he could be moving out again. You also have a ton of resources banked. You might want to get more units. I don't think your army could beat his at the moment. And you still need to get a scout in front of his base. If you're ever sitting around on a huge bank of resources, oh, never mind, you got it. I was going to say try to make a couple overlords. You don't have to do it one at a time, you know, just because you know you're going to have a ton of larvae to use soon. One thing to keep in mind is the larger an army gets, the less effective your lings become. Lings are only good because they can surround, because you can have 5 or 6 lings attacking one unit. If he's got a huge ball of units, though, your lings are just going to run around in circles on the outside of the army. They won't be able to accomplish anything. That was a good idea to pull back there. Those force fields would have raped you. At this point, you've got enough resources. I mean, you really need to be doing something with them. You don't gain interest on minerals in the bank, so... But I'm sure you know that. You could take those mutas and run around his bases to scout. You could scout what's going on and harass him at the same time. That's nice, that's nice. See how many zealots he's got running around there? All the lings that you were doing earlier forced him into those zealots. That's why he doesn't have as many stalkers as he should to fight these mutas. One of the hardest things to do, one of the most important things to do while you harass is you've got to be macroing at the same time. If you harass somebody with all your heart and you do the best harass in the world but you don't macro at the same time, you don't really achieve much. The whole point of harassing is so that you can get ahead on them. At this point, I would say, I don't know, I would say get Ultras or even Roach Hider or something. I mean, you want to tech in some other direction. You see that he's starting to mass up on Archons. If he gets too many of those, your Ling Muta will get annihilated. You also want to keep that constant harass pressure on. Making him build cannons, like what he might be doing now, is actually an okay harass. Like, oh, watch out, watch out. That was really bad. I mean, he's so zealot heavy. With Archons, I would say Roaches would do really, really nice here. But I think after he scouts you, he's probably going to wipe you out.
I'm bad at late game macro.
Yeah, that kind of stuff you just have to develop over time. I mean, you can't really learn macro in one game. But that's the kind of situation where in that game, if you would have macroed better, you would have won. It was kind of your game to win. Hold on one sec. All right, we're gonna win this time. Ready?
Already.
Okay, one quick thing.
Wait, hold on.
All right.
Never mind, I think I'm good.
Okay. One thing you want to keep in mind, that thing I said about how the more army he has, the less effective your links become. Do you kind of understand how that works?
Yeah, because this round.
Yeah. The surround, your shit will be running around the outside, you know, like confused chickens with their heads cut off or whatever, because they can't do anything. When you do this Ling Muta build, you really need to be aggressive with it. Like I said, your Lings outnumber him so much and can surround units so easily when the numbers are smaller. You did a really good job in the beginning, you know, you kind of pushed him back up his ramp and stuff, but even after that, like, you have to, those Lings, even if it means you lose your entire army, if you can destroy most of his, like, Lings are cheap and easy and can always be replaced, and if it keeps him off of an Expo, that's totally okay. Alright?
Alright.
If in the future you see that he's gone, like, he's seen your army and he's totally like, fuck you, I'm not going to die to this, and he starts massing like Archons or something, with that kind of an economic lead, it should be really easy for you to just switch it up. Just throw down a Roach Warren and just start pumping. Like, if you would have thrown down a Roach Warren that game, you had like 2,000 resources, and you would have just made like 30 Roaches, it would have been over. All we had were Zealots and Archons and like a few Stalkers, you know?
Yeah. I got you.
This guy is so fucking dense. Ah, sorry. Watch that Overlord. Always have to be careful with Overlords. It's easy to get careless with them. Really sucks too because it can fuck your whole game up. I say that it happens to me too, I mean. When you're doing this Ling build, you can be a little bit greedy with drones. Like, maybe get up to like 28 to 30 drones in conjunction with your Zergling. Remember, man, if you're going to do this Link build, you really want to be aggressive with these early Links. You don't want him to set up an expansion or anything. You also need to you have to have that scout in front of his base so you can see when he moves out. Me, I've got a DOS keyboard. It's fucking awesome. Pick off that zealot! No, never mind. Don't worry about it. One thing you can get in the habit of, if you have your rally set up on all your hatcheries or whatever, when you're running around with your shit in the field, just get in the habit of hitting like 4S, DDD, ZZ, DD, ZZ, just so you can make units while and you don't even have to look at your main bases, you know? Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, you saw units. Might want to throw up that Evo chamber with that +1 attack upgrade. It really helps. For SV too for Overlords. Eat up them probes, that was really nice. And if you can get those Lings out of there, it'll be even nicer. Eat more probes. He's got probes at the bottom of the ramp. Ah, don't worry about it. Now again, that was something where like as your Lings are running in, just 4SV, 4SD, DD, ZZ, it really helps macroing your stuff. Just because you've got a huge bank of resources now. Really need some Overlords. One thing you want to kind of stay away from, and I know it can be tempting sometimes, or you want to fall back on spine crawlers and stuff, but if you're playing this kind of a game and you're making spine crawlers, you're kind of just wasting your money. I mean, you're doing a super aggressive build, so you want it to be in his face the entire time. Like, he's the one defending, he's the one reacting to you. If it's come to the point where he's pushing to the front of your base and you need those spine crawlers to defend you, you've probably already lost. Just something to keep in mind. You've also, again, you get a huge amount of resources banked up. I guess I would expand or something. You have to do something with them, whether it's expanding, teching, making an army. You've got a ton of unused larvae, too. it kind of takes, I don't know what your graphics setting is on, but you've got an observer flying around in your base. Can you see it? It's almost at your ramp right now.
Yeah, I saw it.
Alright. I'd say take these mutas and harass ASAP. Hey guys, I'm talking to you, I'm not talking to him. The only reason why I'm not going to suggest an in-base hatchery to him is because I've done pretty much the exact same build that he's doing. And there's no reason he should have this many minerals. The only reason he's got this many minerals is because he's messing his macro up. I don't want to correct his macro mistakes by throwing down more buildings, because as his macro improves, he's not going to need those buildings anymore. I would rather him improve his fundamentals than to compensate with a different build order. Does that kind of make sense? It would be like saying, it would be like you should be able to hold off certain pushes doing certain builds, but your micro is so bad that instead you make spore crawlers. You don't want to do that. You want to improve your micro so that you can play the game as any good player should be able to. You know? Does that kind of make sense? Alright, so at this point in the game, I mean, you have to realize that if he attacks you, you're pretty fucked. Like, there's no... Oh, I see he built a hatchery anyway. He has Colossus out. If he were to attack you right now, you'd be dead. If you're ever in a situation where if the opponent attacks you, you die, you want to apply maximum pressure to him. Take those mutas and go back and forth between his main and his expo as many times as you need to. It's just anything to keep him in his base. You don't want him moving out and killing you. Obviously, you know, that would be the last thing in the world you'd want. Okay, or not. There you go. If you're going to trade like this, I would suggest throwing down, like, all of those drones need to become spine crawlers at that expo. Because if you can kill all of his shit and then survive this push, you'll win. I don't know if it's possible, but... I don't know. Well, fuck, you might be able to hold this off. Hey, you might actually be able to hold this off. If you can handle the micro and the macro, pull drones out of a base when you see that they're all gonna die, so that way they don't just needlessly die for the swarm, you know? Like, all of those drones could have been fled to your main or something. I know it's kind of a lot to keep in mind when in all the hecticness that's going on. Hecticity? I don't know if that's a real word. At this point, I would drive all your lings into that expo. He lost his entire army. So you kind of understand the whole concept of being more aggressive and whatnot?
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
One thing to keep in mind, like, when that first... Hold on one sec.
Alright.
Minerals, I view minerals the same way you view potential in real life. Potential is a very, very, very bad thing because potential is just unrealized talent. Does that kind of make sense? Like, if somebody's got a lot of potential, it means they're not doing anything with it, you know?
Yeah.
There comes a point in this game when he did that big push on your expo, you had a ton of what we can call it potential, but you had a ton of resources in the bank. The only thing that made that his push, as effective as it was, is because you had all of those resources that were idling, inside your hatcheries or whatever, that weren't converted to units. Hold on, I'm trying to get to the point where he pushes you. You have the stream turned on right now?
I'm turning it on.
Alright.
Yeah, it's on.
Alright, so at this point right here, when he attacks you, that army's not that big. I mean, it fits in one window. We've got 5 sentries, like 8 stalkers, 1 colossus, and some zealots, right? You're sitting on 2,600 minerals right now. Had you been macroing flawlessly the entire time, that's like 60 zerglings of units that are just totally... So, like, imagine the same situation where he's coming up on you. And, I mean, it doesn't have to be all zerglings either. It could be 6 mutas and, or however much gas... Oh, no gas. So, it could be roaches. It could be something else, But, I mean, if you see... Like, imagine that this same attack is coming, and you scout it halfway in the field, and you've got 60 zerglings just sitting at your base, You could easily annihilate this entire attack, like, so easily. You might lose a lot of your zerglings, but at least, his attack is totally destroyed. But instead, since all you have are minerals in the bank, you end up losing this hatchery, all the drones at your expo, and then the few units you do have just kind of get wasted, the lings that you had. The mutas finally come in and mop up. But had your attack here not been so effective, like say instead he had 3 cannons at this expo, it would have been good game. And it wouldn't have been good game because you played poorly, or because your strategy was bad, or because your timings were bad or anything. It would have been good game just because your macro was lacking, because you had resources in the bank that you hadn't spent. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
One thing that you want to get into the habit of not doing, and I saw you do this earlier, I didn't say anything, but you set up a 3rd hatchery down here because you had a ton of extra resources, right?
Yeah, I did.
This is, the reason why I would suggest against doing that is because I can do this same build that you're doing, and I'll be at like 100 resources the entire game. The reason why I would say don't throw down an extra hatchery if you have that many resources is because the reason why you have that many resources is because your macro is lacking. You don't want to compensate a macro mistake by adjusting your strategy, That would be like, say your micro was really, really, really bad, and there's a rush that some Protoss does. You should be able to hold off with 6 zerglings and a queen, but you can't micro it. So instead of making 6 zerglings, you build 3 spine crawlers or something, That you would be adjusting your strategy because your micro is lacking, and it would affect your entire game. You're never going to become better as a player because of it. You're just compensating in other areas. You don't ever want to do that, That's the only reason why I wouldn't say get used to throwing down like 2 or 3 extra hatcheries because of all the minerals, because you're not going to be able to afford it. And as your macro and micro improve as you continue to play, you're going to find that you don't need those extra hatcheries because you're going to be, spending all of your resources as you get them via either expanding or by teching. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
All right. Okay, cool. You have any questions or anything, or?
What should I be doing to spend those
Who? What?
resources? What should I be doing to spend those resources?
I mean, there's a ton of time points in here where you're just sitting on a huge amount of resources and even a huge amount of larva. Like early game here, like you spend so much time at like 60 psi. You're not making any overlords, and a lot of your larvae are just kind of idling in your base. Hold on, let me get up to it. One thing you need to get used to doing, and I notice this when I turn on the camera a lot, is that a lot of the times when you go back to macro at your base, you're looking at your hatcheries when you're producing units. There's absolutely no reason why you need to look at your hatcheries when you're producing units. You should be able to do it totally fine. It's almost like driving a manual car. You should never have to look down at the gear shift to see, you know, like, okay, first gear is here, second gear is here, third. You never want to take your eyes off the road, you know. It's the same thing when you're harassing too. You should be able to harass with your lings, and just like as you're harassing, just tap your keyboard. 4SD, 4SZ, 4SZZDDDD, VVV, you know. You should always be able to make drones and Zerglings and Overlords without ever having to go back and look at your base. You always want to keep your eyes on the units you've got in the field. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sorry, I'll look at the chat in a second, guys. Hold on.
I gotcha.
See, like right here, like it started at like 8 minutes. You've got tons of minerals. You're maxed on psi like this entire time. This part drove me crazy. You don't make overlords for so long. Like it started at 8 minutes, and we're still at 10 minutes. And then here comes, and then finally, you know, like almost 11 minutes, now you finally made overlords. Well, you've got 1,800 minerals in the bank, you know. Imagine if you had converted those 1,800 minerals using better macro into lings. You might have been able to just ling this expo out. Like, this expo might not even exist had you been keeping your macro up. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I need to work on my overlords.
It's important when you look at some games. It's important when you look at some games too to kind of differentiate between, like, understanding why you lost can be more important sometimes than, well, never mind, I don't know where I was going with that. Understanding why you lost is really important. Like, you could look at this game and then say the Protoss eventually just, like, say here the Protoss attacks you. Say he has a little bit more. His macro isn't the best. I mean, he's a pretty decent player. But like, if this guy would have been a high diamond, say he rolls you at this point, like, you don't want to go like, fuck, man, like, Ling muted doesn't work. Like, I need to change my strategy. I need to be making more spine crawlers and more hatcheries. I need to have like 3 or 4 hatcheries. You need to be able to look at the game and identify why you lost. If he would have pushed you here and you would have lost, the only reason would have been because you're sitting on idle larva. I understand you're waiting for a spire, but I mean, you were capped at 60 psi for a long time, and you had tons of resources in the bank that were going unspent. You know, that would be the only reason why you lost this game. It wouldn't be a strategy issue. It wouldn't be a build order issue. It wouldn't be a scouting issue. It would be purely related to macro. Does that kind of make sense?
Yep.
Yep. So anything, what? Okay, so yeah, anything, any other questions or anything?
That's it.
Alright, bro. Well, if you ever have any issues or anything, just let me know and I'll see what I can talk you through or whatever. Cool?
Will do. Thank you.
Alright, no problem. See you later.
Bye.